This was one of the most requested videos that you guys wanted me to talk about. So let's talk while I do my hair. And as you guys can see, I'm Haitian, so this is right up my alley. So if you guys have not seen this story yet, so the guy who made the video, his sister got into an altercation with, I guess you can say, a witch in the neighborhood. One of the things about Haiti, it doesn't matter what an elderly does. It doesn't matter what people do. You do not disrespect strangers. That is a fact. Like, you do not. That was one of the things that my parents taught me. Like, you never get disrespectful with anybody out in Haiti, because they will catch your ass back. After you've been disrespectful to an elder specifically, they can pluck their beard and throw it after you, and that's extremely bad luck. Don't know how it works, that's just what I was told. Anyway, let's get on with his story. His sister was rude to the wrong person, and I guess the wrong person is a witch in that neighborhood. And basically, the witch, they don't normally say much because they're like really powerful people. So when the sister was being rude to her, the witch basically told the sister, you have 3 days. Even though the sister, being a part of that lifestyle, knows what the witch meant, she still disregarded what she said and went on with her life. And 3 days later, as the witch said, the sister started getting chronically ill. The sister is coughing and she has like this horrible fever, and she's just bedridden, and she's just getting worse and worse. And after some time of dealing with this sickness that had no cure, the sister winds up passing away. You know, they went through the funeral and the burial and everything, and at this point it's been, I believe, 2 months since the sister's been dead. When the family realized that the sister did not die of natural causes and that this was indeed witchcraft, they decided that they wanted to bring the sister back from the dead, that they wanted to raise her back. Now, if this sounds ridiculous for you, then clearly you must be new here, because this is so common in Haiti. In order to bring someone back from the dead, you need someone even more powerful than the person who unalived them to be able to do that. So there are levels to this shit. So it's basically undoing the work of another witch, but you have to be more powerful than that witch, period. So their uncle happened to be more powerful than the person who unalived the sister. So the family decided that the uncle was going to bring back his niece from the dead. Keep in mind that this is also undermining the previous witch's work, because it's like, I can undo what you did. And fair enough, the uncle goes to the tomb where she was buried, does his whole prayer and everything, and it was successful as he raised that man's sister from the dead. There were a few rules, like they were never allowed to talk about it, and they were never allowed to let the sister know about her past and that, you know, she had previously died. Now, the witch heard word that the uncle had undone her work, and she's like, oh, word? Okay, so she goes to someone else who's even more powerful, I'm assuming, and they managed to turn that man's uncle into a cow. Yes, you heard that right. So the uncle is now a cow living on a farm somewhere, but the sister is alive. Now, he mentions being terrified of his sister, to say the least. I mean, like, she was literally dead for 2 months, and here she is back. And when she came back, she didn't seem like her old self either. She seems to be very different than the previous version of her that died previously. Now, in Haiti, usually people raise up the dead because they're in need of workers. Usually in Haiti, people raise up the dead because they're in need of workers. But this was a special case because it was the uncle that raised up his niece because he wanted his niece to have a second chance in life. Now, he mentions that his sister is still back in Haiti and that they do actually talk sometimes. And she has a boyfriend out there. However, every time she tries to have kids, she would give birth, and after 3 months of having the kid would unfortunately pass away. I mean, she really can't have kids, which was one of the things that I believe the uncle told them about as, like, you know, a side effect. Whatever spirit brought her back is going to keep taking whatever children she keeps producing. And dude himself right now is going through it because he's speaking out about it. And doing voodoo is basically like working for the government, as he says. Because why? You're not supposed to talk about these things. And, well, he already talked about it on TikTok. So he's been saying that, you know, things are starting to pop up for him because he's not supposed to be talking about this. He went into so many details on his page about how he's been literally tormented by spirits, and ever since he started talking about this. And he also knows that he did piss off some people back home who still want his head.
Right. So the uncle turned into a cow. He brought his niece back to life. I'm really trying to find the words for an intro. Welcome forward to another video. Today we're covering zombies. You know, Africa just got so many different stuff to be happening to individual people because of the negative imbalance within other people, and because people want to be on the dark side, and then you got to fight the dark side with the light, and the light trying to fight. It's just a lot going on. So we just gonna see. You know, I had a conversation with my father yesterday, and we were talking about Africa, and I said, there's so many different things and magic in Africa. And he was just like, why you think some of them don't get visas? Because if those ones that come over here and delve into certain magics can teleport and rob a bank and bring people back to life and start doing all that type of magical stuff over here, how the police gonna find somebody who can teleport, who can become invisible and take the money out of the bank? All they gotta do is just sit in the bank until they close and then start doing what they do. But let's continue. And also, most of these videos will be featuring Rebecca's journey. Y'all need to go to her YouTube channel, follow her on TikTok, follow her everywhere, because she always has the most interesting stories about the most interesting magical things. And she tells it well. So before we go even deeper, let's just get a little background of zombies and like what it really means to be a zombie. Yeah, a zombie.
Zombies were never actually monsters. They were victims.
That creator explains the Haitian origins of the zombie monster and how the zombie is actually a victim, not a monster. She goes on to give like a metaphorical explanation for what zombies really are. But I'm gonna tell you what my Haitian mother told me a zombie is. Strap in, cause it's about to get weird. So this explanation starts with the blowfish. Who remembers the Simpsons episode where they eat the dangerous part of the blowfish? Those who don't know, blowfish is one of the most expensive delicacies and one of the most dangerous foods to eat on this planet. And that's because the blowfish, if you don't chop it up properly when you're preparing it, can be poisonous as hell. So in Haiti, this poison from the blowfish is turned into a powder. And the story goes, if you have done somebody wrong, or somebody feels like you've done somebody wrong, or you're just up to some plain no good, what some people will do is get this powder and dose that person with it. And what this powder does is it mimics death. So you appear to die, and I don't know if it's still like this, but back in the day when you died in Haiti, you were pretty much buried the same day. So your family buries you thinking that you're dead, but the person who dosed you knows that you're really not dead. And so late at night, they go into the graveyard and they dig you up, take you home, and turn you into their slave. Because one of the effects of this powder is that you are still alive, but in a zombie-like state. You can't speak, you can't really do anything except for work. And whoever dosed you and is keeping you captive, that's what they do. They put you to work for the rest of your life. So in that sense, yes.
You definitely do not want to watch this one at night. What would you do if you found out that your mother that you know and love, that you lived with all your life, is actually a zombie? We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Miss. So Miss has a friend who was born in Benin. And Mrs. Friend used to stay with her mom over in Benin. So when Mrs. Friend turns 18 years old, her mother tells her that her family is actually from Ghana. And she tells her that she wants to take her to Ghana. So they get on a bus and they go to Kumasi, a city in the Ashanti region. So as they're on the bus, the girl's mother is instructing her about what to do. So the mom is telling her that she's actually not coming with her. She's just taking the bus and taking her there. That once she arrives, a woman is going to come out of a car. She described the woman to her and told her that the woman out of the car is her auntie and that she should go with her. Again, she's not stopping with her daughter. She's just dropping her off, telling her, go with this woman who's your auntie, and I'll catch up with y'all later. Because it's been a while since the mom has been back home, she gave her daughter a picture of herself to give to her aunt when she sees the aunt so that it can all make sense. Because again, the daughter never left Benin, so she doesn't know about her family in Ghana. So her mom's telling her, this auntie's gonna come pick her up out of this car. She looks like this. Here's a picture of me. Be sure to give it to her. I'll come join y'all later. And she's like, okay, cool, makes sense. So eventually, daughter gets off the bus and she peeps the woman that her mother was talking about. So she approaches her. She told her everything her mom told her to tell the woman, and this woman starts bawling. She is hysterically crying. The woman / her auntie took the girl and brought her back to the Ashanti region to the family house. So when she got there, the family members called her for a meeting and started interrogating her about her mother, started asking her real serious questions about her mom. And she told them everything. She told them that she has been living with her mom since childhood and she doesn't know her father. So after the interrogation, everyone decided to tell her. They told her that her mother was dead and has been dead for 16 years. There was a funeral, a burial, and everything. She is not alive. But the daughter, the girl, she was 18 years old. So then the girl had to have been born before she passed. So they don't know whether that is her mom or not. I mean, she's showing them pictures of the mom. She's relaying the exact messages that her mom told her to relay, which would be things that only the dead woman would know. So they came to the conclusion, because of everything the girl knows and because of the picture, that her mother was a dead woman. Therefore, the family just simply cannot accept her. Her mom died so many years ago, 16 years ago. Somehow winded up in Benin, living this whole new life without ever mentioning important details from her past, like, I don't know, her dying. So Miss, the person who submitted the story, said, in their Ghanaian culture, they assume the dead cannot eat pepper. So the family members is asking her, like, have you ever seen your mother eat peppers? She's like, I've seen her eat vegetables that taste like peppers, but no, she never ate peppers. And that was the end of the story that Miss submitted. Since that's all she submitted, she didn't tell me whether daughter went back to her mother or not, or what happened after that. I don't know. I'm gonna assume since the family didn't accept her that she had to at least come back home. I don't know what happened from there. Thank you for submitting.
Bro, we gotta figure this out, because how you just gonna end the story like that, Rebecca? How you just gonna end the story like that? We gotta find another one. Where's the part 2? We need a part 2. This is not adding up. None of this is adding up, bro. I feel like Regina Hall in the movie theater. This is some real spooky.
I'm back with another spooky story. So what happened to the girl with the zombie mother? If you don't know what I'm talking about, click on this comment. This is the update. So after the girl met her auntie and they took her back to the family's house in the village, and the family was interrogating her, asking her all types of questions about her mother. The daughter is 18 years old and the family members are telling her that her mother died 16 years ago. So with gathering information, they figured that they're talking about the same person. But it's kind of hard for the family to accept this girl because literally your mother literally did die. And to prove it, some of the family members actually took her to where part of her mother's body was buried. Her mom was buried in Benin and part of her was brought to Ghana to bury. And they did it that way because that's just a part of their culture. So basically the family took her to where her mother was buried and showed her everything like, yeah, she's a dead woman, she's gone. They all come back home and everybody's just confused. So a different day, the daughter decided that she wanted to go back to her mother's burial grounds because the last time all her family was with her, hovering over her, so she wanted this experience by herself this time. So she went there alone and she's sitting there by the grave crying. She is hysterical. She's crying, like confused, asking herself questions like, why me? Did I really live with a zombie for 18 years? So she gets up and leaves the burial site. And on her way back to the family house, guess who she ran into? So on her way,
Where is the mammy? Where's the mammy? Where's she at? Where did she just go? Where she just dropped her daughter off to her family that this whole time thought that she was dead and gonna bring her daughter to the house and leave her there. Where is the mama at? Where's she at? Huh? Because why would you come back after all that time? I'm just so confused. Who brought her back to life? What the fuck is going on, y'all? What is going on? This is some spooky shit. Bro, I ain't never heard nothing like this. Never in life, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just, I'm just gonna press play. I'm sorry. I just needed to let that out, bro, because like.
back to the family house, she sees this person approaching her on the road. And when she looks closer, she could see that it's her deceased mother walking towards her. And at that moment, they met. And her deceased mother warned her about something scarier than her actually seeing a dead woman. Her mother told her that no matter what she does, never to go back to Benin. And her mother also confirmed the mystery by saying, in case you're wondering, I did die. So basically, she went back to the family's house, told them that she saw her deceased mother yet again, and basically she was accused of being a witch by the family members. They also were not believing her when she was denying being a witch, so she literally had no choice but to leave the family's house. She can't go back to Benin, and she cannot stay at her family's house. So she wound up going to a town about 1,500 kilometers away from the family house. She's thinking at this point she Gucci. She moved so far away, that family thing is in her past. A whole witch drama, she doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But because her story is so unusual, the daughter of a dead woman popped up after 18 years claiming that her mother raised her and sent her here. Everybody in that family basically went around the entire town telling what happened. The girl's story was actually pretty popular. Even if she was 1,500 kilometers away, odds are somebody heard that story. So she said one of the people who were living in the town where the family was, they came to the town that she settled in, and they started spreading rumors everywhere about that girl, about her mom. It turned that story every way but loose. They were accusing her of being a witch. So she even took the stories to one of those reality shows in Ghana, which is called, I'm sorry if I butcher this, Oyeripa. And according to her, when she went on that show, the people on the show made her to even feel even worse. Because the ones who was interviewing her during the show was like giving her this vibe, like she's a witch or she's a freak or something. Most people think that the daughter of the dead woman is weird. Or they think that she behaves this certain way that's not normal. Yeah, if you guys were wondering, woman is still alive. She is currently married, she has a child, and she is now 29 years old. In case you are wondering how that one ended, because I really wanted to know, and thank you, miss, for getting back to me on the rest of the story.
What if the witch or whatever sorcerer brought her back to life is in Benin? What if she can't go back because I don't know. I'm thinking about a lot of stuff right now, y'all. As y'all know, on October 29th, I am doing a live podcast with the Black Cauldron. I'm going to be in person with her, talking on calls. We're going to be talking about spooky experiences and also answering questions about upcoming events. I have an announcement. I'm putting together an in-person live event where we're going to be discussing spirituality, angels, dimensions, all of the stuff that I cover in reaction videos that I do on my YouTube channel. We're going to talk about it in person. And this is an opportunity for you to come and talk about your experiences and get some clarity on it from people who actually experienced it. Black Cauldron is also joining me in this event as well, so she's going to be there. This is not the official flyer, but I did want to show you a little presentation of it. I'm only going to have a total of 50 seats available for anybody to come out. We are located in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm also going to play some of my unreleased music at the event as well, give out my Hands of Light gift bags and the products that I'm going to be selling in the future. And I might have some vegan food. We just got to see what's in the budget. Come join me and the Black Cauldron on November 16th.
Story time when my sister almost got taken out of this world by someone who was getting initiated into Vodou in Haiti. So if you don't know me, hello, I'm Jenny. I grew up in Haiti and I've seen a lot of things. But this particular story was kind of crazy because my sister, my mom here, who lived here at the time, was actually buying things and getting stuff ready for her funeral at the age of, I believe, 16 or 17. She was very young and I was a lot younger, but I still remember the story. So let me put my coffee down. So growing up in Haiti, you do see a lot of things, especially like when it comes to like voodoo and witchcraft and all that stuff. So we always are very careful, right? So we always go to sleep very early because, or not necessarily go to sleep early, but we are in the house at a certain time because you just cannot be outside after a certain time. So that particular day, we were all outside playing hide and seek, but there's this neighbor that lived right in front of us. There's this huge highway in front of their house, but we live behind their house. So they live right in front of the highway. So that family is a very sweet family. We know them. They share food with us. They always, in Haiti, if you live in like a very close neighborhood, people will cook and bring food to the family. And then whenever you cook, you bring food to them. So this particular family we're very, very nice with. And one night we were all playing hide and seek, not knowing that this guy who lives in that house was actually getting ready to be initiated to be a voodoo priest because they just passed down the gift, right? So as he was practicing, It wasn't like they were trying to harm us or anything. He was practicing, and he got this powder and mixed the powder and put it on the floor just to see, you know, if he is capable of doing certain stuff, right? So we're playing hide and seek, and my sister was actually running around. I don't know who was seeking or who was hiding, but I know that we were all playing hide and seek, and my sister crossed over this powder that was on the floor, not unbeknownst to her, because obviously it's nighttime and we're playing, and she crossed over the powder. And ever since that night, my sister became literally like a zombie. Like she was sick. We couldn't figure out what's wrong with her. They took her to different hospitals. No hospital was able to tell us what was wrong with her. And they even took her to the Dominican Republic, because sometime whenever you feel like, okay, well, doctors in Haiti cannot tell you what's wrong, so we'll go over to the neighboring town, which is Dominican Republic. We'll go there to go to a doctor who we believe is more professional or have more tools. Well, they couldn't tell us what's wrong with my sister. And my mom is here. My aunt is calling my mom. Uncles are calling my mom, trying to figure things out. And we got to the point where my sister just would not get better, and she was just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So then my mom started sending money so we can get like funeral arrangements, and, you know, everybody getting their funeral clothing. And in Haiti, it takes forever for everybody to get all their clothing and stuff. Usually about a month. The body would be in the morgue, but my sister wasn't dead yet, but she was like damn near about to die, right? So then,
Y'all, what if it's that blowfish powder? You know what I'm talking about, the video that we just watched?
we got the casket ready. We had one of our neighbor actually was a casket maker. Like, he will make caskets literally right there. So he was preparing a casket for my sister to be buried in. At this point, she's like 16 years old. So then finally, I have this aunt of mine she's not a Christian, but she's also not into like practicing voodoo and all that, but she has friends who does it. So she ended up going to one of her friends who basically told her, well, her friend is a voodoo priest, or priestess. It was a woman. Told her that somebody that we knew did something to her, but it was accidental. So my aunt didn't go to the family, you know, being crazy and arguing and all that, because she already knew that it wasn't on purpose that they did it. But the voodoo priestess was able to tell us the initial of the family, because, you know, family names in the islands is very important. So we knew the people the minute they told us the initial of the family, and they told us, you know, somebody close and all that stuff. So my aunt ended up going to the family that lives in front of us that did this to my sister unknowingly. And they talked to my aunt. My aunt told them what's going on. And finally, the people did something, because obviously they have the antidote to whatever they did. But because we didn't know that, we didn't know how to fix it. But as soon as my aunt talked to them, the guy who did it fixed some sort of antidote. Literally the next day, my sister was up running and just being a kid again. She was literally alive and well, as if she was never sick. So sometime whenever you go to the hospital and they cannot find what's wrong with you. Anyways, guys, that's my story. There's a lot more stories that I
am just glad that her sister is okay. She got better. Luckily, it was a person who was in the good spirits of doing right by what they did wrong. So, yeah. Let's go to Ghana, y'all.
I am back with another spooky story. Apparently in Ghana, the dead sometimes lives amongst the living. Spooky story time. You might not want to watch this one at night. So the person who submitted the story from Ghana, we're going to call her P. This is something that P's mother witnessed when she was just a teenager. So P says that her mother goes for hawking every day after school due to their financial problems. She uses the word hawking, but I don't know if she means working. She says her mother was a very hardworking and fearless girl. She said her mother was that girl. She went to both places where she was allowed to go and even the places that she was not allowed to be in. So there was this one particular market where her mother would, in her hawking, she would take a rest, and it was by this woman who sells avocados. As I like to call them, avocados. There were rumors that there were ghosts selling amongst them in that market. And they were not just ghosts that come and go in the night. No, they fully lived on during the day and blended with the living. So much so that these dead people living amongst the living, they would go as far as getting married. So no one would even suspect that they were previously dead. So there could be a shortage of avocados, but this woman right there, she had all of them, okay? She had the fresh, juicy, fatty avocados any time of the year. And her avocados were tasty and lustful to the tongue. She never lacks customers. People were always rushing to her avocado stand. So this woman had a husband with 4 kids, and she had been married to this man for 10 years. And this man had never met her family, nothing. So one normal day, P's mother does her regular normal school routine and then goes down to the market. So, you know, the usual, she stops and rests at the woman's place for a minute. P says, here in Ghana, Fridays are for funeral wake keepings. So people from afar come to buy stuff for their funerals at the marketplace. So on that particular day, that Friday, P's mother witnessed something absolutely horrifying. What she saw was definitely not in her bingo cards that year. So her mom was helping this woman sell her avocados because she could see in front of her there was this large crowd of people, and this poor woman was getting overwhelmed selling all the avocados by herself. So as P's mother is helping her sell the avocados, these 3 women approached the stand. So these 3 women actually came to the marketplace to buy some stuff for a funeral, but they winded up getting attracted by the crowd of people rushing to this one particular avocado stand. So these 3 women waited their turn behind the crowd, and when they approached the table, they saw the woman selling the avocado. And boy, I don't think that was in anybody's bingo cards that year. Because the woman selling the avocados was someone they knew from their village. The village that they just came from. And when they mentioned her name, in front of everybody, the 3 women and the mother and anybody else who was there, the avocado woman literally vanishes into thin air. She left everything behind. Poof, vanished. And mind you, P's mother this whole time was standing right next to this woman. So she's watching everything happen like right in front of her. They winded up looking everywhere around the market, but they could not find this woman. This wasn't just like a smoke show disappearing. Nah, that bitch was gone. She dipped off the scene. So after the search, the women explained that she was a woman who once lived in their village and that she was never married until she died. So yes, that woman selling the avocados this whole time was a dead woman. Now word gets back to the husband, and y'all, he did not take it well. He literally ran mad. 2 of her kids winded up dying of unknown reasons. Now y'all remember she had 4 children, right? 2 of them died of unknown reasons, and 1 of them drowned at a beach. And finally, the last one, who was often prayed for, had mental issues, who was constantly losing her mind and going mad. Now P's mother, on the other hand, was a helper to this dead woman, and she's been around her for a pretty long time. Her mother winded up having severe measles, who she says if it was not for the interference of God, she would have been dead by now. Her mother was saved by nothing but prayers. When they dug deep into the history of the dead woman, they found out her motive. And her motive was dark and twisted, to say the least. Because her plan was to destroy and unalive anyone who got close to her, or anyone who loved her for that fact. So we left Nigeria, and now we're in Ghana, and Ghana was definitely a lot of fun.
Moral of the story is, when you go to Ghana, you never know who is selling fruit to you. You never know what they doing. And some of them may be magicians, witches, warlocks. You know, you just gotta get your fruit and get out of there. Get out of there. For anybody who wanted to know, hawking is basically street vendors, people who sell fruit. Really, that's all I got today. I hope y'all got a little spook in and also just became aware of certain things that's happening in other countries. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you on the next video. I love y'all.